Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. I'm so excited and delighted to present to you Star. I met him through TikTok, and his advice is some of the most solid advice I see on TikTok, so I could not resist but invite him. I don't have a formal bio on Star, which makes this episode even more interesting, but today we were going to talk about a lot of the toxic behavior that men and women or people are engaging in with each other, and we discuss a lot about how every time we engage in something, we always feel like we have to approach it with an objective. And one of his biggest mottos is follow the path of your excitement with no insistence on the outcome. So join us as we dive deeper into these topics and give it a different perspective. I have one burning question in my heart, and it comes up for me a lot because you mentioned a good point. You said men and women aren't that different.
Not that much, definitely not.
When I
Because you
say,
can be a woman in this life and you can be a man in the next one. And you can be different energies combined. Yeah, but go ahead. Sorry.
So what I'm trying to understand is this concept of a woman in her feminine power has the power to heal the world. And so sometimes I read that and I wonder about those messages, and I don't know.
Well, I like the answer you just said. I don't know, because that's the realest one to that.
Yeah, it rings true sometimes, and then when I have conversations like this, I think about it and I'm like, wow, well, how much of it is the expectation of it to be different, the construct that I think it's different, so I allow that thought to even exist.
So I'll make this simple for you, and I know you're gonna understand this. Bashar says permission slips. Have you heard Bashar talking about it?
No.
So you can make anything a permission slip for you to connect to source, for you to follow your excitement. Okay? So Eckhart Tolle says anything can only be a signpost to that which is now, to the unexplainable, to the consciousness. She's giving a signpost that works for a certain amount of people and that maybe empowers a certain amount of people. Depends, I don't know. But I think it does because it empowered you and empowers other people. Because you're on that certain vibration at that certain time. If you change your vibration, you will look at the same thing that you looked at before differently. So you will see it in a different light. So you will see, okay, that helped me in third dimension, but in fourth dimension, I see that that is only a construct that still separates. In fourth dimension, you see that all is one. And that the only important thing is for you to raise your vibration to connect to consciousness. And once you connect to consciousness, you will know what to do. But the important thing is to maybe judge less. If you were one of those that was good. That was a good sentence to get like a lot of. If you were one of those feminists who just hate guys, I would have never came on a call with you, right? But you're not. You want to help people. You specialize on women, which, if it is your highest excitement, with no insistence on the outcome, it's amazing. That's what you want to do because it excites you just for the reason to excite you, not for the other people. Oh, people always want to rescue the world. It's like, but does the world need to be rescued? And I had to understand myself. I had to understand this myself. Because if you think the world needs to be rescued, then what vibration are you on? The world is super fine. People in the media just tell a lot of stories that it's like, it's this way, it's this way. Corona here, and this, no. Cuddle me, you know? It's like, shut the fuck up. So it's literally all about vibration, and it's an art. So if you raise your vibration, it's so simple. Just follow what brings you joy, follow your excitement, and what comes out will be pure. People just make it and all this, and then the feminine side came, and the masculine side, and they came, like, I can see how feminine and masculine is in everybody. Like those traits, it's also just mind made up too, right? It's traits. It's certain people say this world needs more feminine energy. What is feminine energy? And why did people say feminine energy is like nature? What does it even mean? And what is masculine energy? Like, what does it even mean? It's like people also bring mind things to that. They try to explain it. Yeah, masculine is decisive and feminine is the flow, and we need more feminine in this world. And yeah, but it's not feminine that we need consciousness. And feminine is consciousness and masculine is consciousness. But the politicians, it's not like, because that's like making masculine looking bad. Like, it's like, yeah, they masculine energy, and masculine is this dictator, and it's almost like this victim mentality again, where it's like, no, the bad the bad maskies, and then it's the victim mentality again, you know.
So true.
It's like, that's also with a lot of racism that happens. A lot of racism is there's both sides, but they both attract each other. It's the victims and it's the perpetrators.
Yeah.
And
so true.
Both, but then what's happening? It's like, are you going to make yourself a victim again in that mentality? Because then you're going to attract the perpetrator. Yeah. And are you going to say bad this, bad that? Because then you could put your focus on it. And it's come back. So then you can see what our society does and how it works. And yes, if someone instinctively, intuitively says, I want to teach this feminine energy to people, and it comes out of intuition, and it's like completely your excitement, and you're like, this is what, yes, now. And it's only moment to moment. So don't think you have to make a decision for your whole life. I'm going to teach feminine until I die. Until I die. So before on my gravestone, I want to have, I was a feminine energy, you know? No, it's moment to moment, and that will give you freedom, Yvonne. When you moment to moment, why is your English so good, by the way?
Oh, because
your mom is American, or your mom is English, or your dad's English? That's American.
No, I'm Mexican by birth, but my parents.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Oh, nice. And then you moved to France.
So you speak a year ago. It's coming. My French is coming. It's a little slow, but it's coming.
Okay, that's cool. I got distracted, but that's okay. So, because I know where it's gonna go. It's moment to moment, and that will give you freedom. Moment to moment will give you freedom, because everything else is mind-based again. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do next moment, and you only want to know what you want to do in the next moment because you're scared of the unknown. That's what people do. They're like, I'm gonna plan this out. I'm gonna Gary V this the next 32 posts on all these things, and I love Gary V. Gary, if you watch this, hi. There's this TikTok. It's like, hi. I don't know. It was like this trend, this viral trend. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember. It was like this guy trying to talk to a girl, and it was like, okay, I got this. Slowly. Hi. I paraphrased that, but that was a funny one. So it's moment to moment. So moment to moment means every moment you just, you don't have to ask yourself every moment. You know it intuitively. What excites me? Does it excite? If you're Yvonne, what video does excite? And you will, like, I get my ideas and I grab my phone and I do it. And the more I do that, the more ideas come. And yeah, it's courageous because a lot of people, and there used to be thoughts like that, and there's sometimes still thoughts like, oh, but there would be too, like, you have to put effort and you don't know if this, and all these kind of questions that the mind asks. But I just do it. And I train, like, I do acting, and I was with the Steppenwolf company, which is a big theater company from Chicago. And it was like, we were selected like 24 people from like kind of all over the world. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you, for a scholarship. And it was like this, you had to jump, like it was like this jumping on stage in the unknown. And I was like that already before, but I think that inspired me too to be like, yo, like if I get an inspiration, do it. And it's this moment to moment, and it's an art, and no one teaches that. Like what I teach right now, like it's rarely taught like this together, because, well, it's a few people who actually, Abram Hicks, but you can bring so many examples into that where you can, and that's why it's helpful what I teach, because it's bringing it to like situations like dating and this and that. But it's very real, because it's moment to moment, and it's not hiding behind the mind that tries to like do the unknown and not the known and cover the unknown up. It's like, you got like, it's beautiful. The unknown is beautiful. Bashar says, in the unknown, you only find more of yourself. So I hope this helped you, like, to be like, okay, because you all like, don't just let society tell you things. Like that's a problem. Like literally, society's like, yes. Even spiritual society is like, yes.
Yes.
And there's the 9 chakras, and then there's the feminine energy and the masculine energy and the soul, right? Dude, like, also the chakras are also like, I'm not going to say it's made up, but the real thing is consciousness, is that aliveness. And you can work with you can help people like that. It's a permission slip. It works. At the same time, ask yourself. And I always say, people question these things, like all things in society. And asking like feminine, masculine energy is actually a kind of high questioning compared to a lot of things that society does, where it's like, what the fuck's going on, guys? Didn't you ask yourself if that even makes sense to date like this, or to judge people like that? It's like, ask yourself, does it really make sense, this feminine, masculine thing? And if it makes sense for yourself, then go into it. And see, I don't even say, oh, believe that. Like, trust yourself, and then follow your excitement, and then you will find out. But that's the realest thing, because I could be here like, yeah, it's like this and that. But in the end, feminine, masculine, at the same time, it's part of one energy, you know?
Yes.
Like it's only, the question is, how much of the life energy, moment to moment, do you let flow through you? How connected are you moment to moment to God? I got so much hate for like religious videos that I made, where it was like, I said, Jesus said, the kingdom of God is within you. And that means energy is flowing through you at all times. And Jesus was teaching the law of attraction when he said, believe that you already received it and it will be yours. And people are like, no, in the Bible and the law and this, and like literally like, and I was like, yo, you guys are like, because do you have an experience with God, or do you have a mind thing with God? That's Eckhart Tolle says that, and it's true. You felt God. Just in the meditation, you felt God. And you feel God now. That's an experience of God. And if you bring that experience of God in your work, and we all spiritual. There's not someone more spiritual than another person. Everyone is literally spiritual, because spirit is in everyone and everything. And if you see it like that, and that's why I feel like I have 50-50 even on because I just believe spirit is in all of you motherfuckers. And like, you girls love me and guys love me, and it doesn't matter, you know? Yeah, I'm attracted to girls. At the same time, cool. That's just my preference. That's my excitement. And but do you see how it's like, question these things? Like, don't just take them from these spiritual teachers like for granted. Connect to the now, and then you get your answers. You know?
Totally. It's true. And it's interesting. For me, it's managing, not getting too involved, because sometimes I realize that it's true. I have to honor everyone's excitement, like the permission slips, that there's so many things that actually,
let them do it. Yeah. It's like, I know. For me, even like, it's challenging sometimes, where it's like, you really put a video out just now manipulating people. And sometimes I do the videos where you might see them, where people like do their manipulative stuff, and then I say something, and some of them blew up. Like this girl, I remember she did like a Snapchat, she was like, type in Snapchat and then delete it. And then the person sees that you're typing, and then the person will not like it, and then they will reach out to you. So this kind of manipulative stuff. And that works actually because it triggers in a lot of people this feeling of abandonment, where it's like, oh, that person. And then, but it's this, that's why dating, like literally, like the relationships with people, I promise you, Yvonne, like almost at least 80% of relationships are addictive relationships. Yeah. It's addictive love. It's not real love because it's a power game. Because I love this. I saw this Abraham Hicks video recently where it was like, I only say, I never said she. I always say they. I only said that because so many people say she. Okay, they, because I know they spiritual, like a group of spiritual beings. And a group of spiritual beings. So they were like, yo, if you like me, a guy likes a girl likes a guy. If I like you, but when you like me more, I don't like you as much. And if I like you more, then they don't like you as much. And it's like this game of like, you don't feel, the point is basically that a lot of girls and guys would like to date someone who they think is better than them because they were raised to not feel good enough themselves. And by trying to get someone better than them, they're looking for their own value in the other person. So that's actually important to understand. Yeah. They're looking for their own value that actually is already in them, but they don't see it in the other person. And if they see like a football player or like anyone who in society's eyes or in their eyes has a lot of value, then they stay with them until, or let's say football player has a lot of areas, they'll probably even stay with them when they simp. But like, let's say a guy who has like maybe a good job or whatever, or a doctor, they stay with them until the guy's like, oh, I love you too so much now. And then it's like, oh, you like me? Why do you like me? There's something I'm not, people think they're not good enough. So they're like, why do you like me? And then they don't like them anymore. And do you see how this is not love? Do you see how this is complete craziness?
Yes. And you know, there's also the element of withholding love for control in relationships.
All the time, yes.
It's so hurtful.
And it's mind-based, and it makes people unhappy. It's like, especially here in LA, I've seen this with like girls where they're like, oh, I have to be cold. I have to be cold. So he likes me. I have to be cold. And guys, the same. I have to be cold. And that's taught on social media. That's taught on TikTok. And people teach that with like manipulated videos where like, oh yeah, stay cold, or wait a certain time to text them, wait a certain time to call them, wait this amount of days to call them. And it's literally like this mind-based, manipulative, and it doesn't make anyone happy. It's not a connection. It's not a real connection. It's addiction. It's because what happens is they get into this relationship, they look for their value in the other person. And let's say they have the value, they look in the value of, the girl looks in the value of a guy, right? So the guy gives that girl a little value by sending her a nice text. She gets a really good feeling, right? And she keeps chasing it. She's like, and then he maybe gets cold again. And then he gives another one and she gets it, right? And then they might get in a relationship. And then it's this attachment. And when they apart, she's like crying and like, and when they're together, she's like happy. What is that? When you're together, you get the drugs. When you're apart, you need the drugs. It's literally a drug addiction. And Michael Singer was talking about that. And our relationships are drug addictive, but no one talks about it like that. And people kill themselves. Yeah. And people kill other people. And it's like, that's something that I want to bring light to, and I want to change the game, actually. Yeah. And that's why I put the videos out there. Because by me changing the game, and I made this one video where I was on the beach that a lot of people loved, where I was like, I don't need another person. I'm good with myself, but I'm not scared of another person because I trust the universe. I trust myself. I'm taken care of. So when you come into a relationship with another person, you're not dependent on that other person. You have a connection, but that connection is way more beautiful because it's two people in their power coming together and building a wonderful time and being in their own confidence and not wondering why the other person loves them so much or why you love them so much, because you love yourself so much. And you're like, yeah, of course that person loves me.
Yeah.
Whereas a person with no worthiness, with no self-love, will be like, why does that person love me? That person can't be high status, because only people who high status treat me like dirt. Do you see how crazy that is?
I'm
that's why
so glad you're bringing light to this, because it's true. I feel like the younger generation, especially, I mean, older generations too, but
it's such a mind game. It's such a mind fuck. It's so much. And you see it on Snapchat. You see it on, so, I mean, if you scroll through TikTok, you probably scroll through TikTok too.
Oh,
watch next time you scroll through TikTok. See how many girls are like, I mean, I saw this crazy post where it was like, he likes me, and then it was like this throw up emoji. And it was like, if someone likes you too much or something like that. And it can be the other side where a person is needy, right? Now, maybe a guy is needy and is a nice guy, so to say. And he asked himself, people are always like, why do nice guys lose? Well, because nice guys are as manipulative. You are nice. If I go up to a girl, right? And I give her compliments and I'm nice. Do I give the compliments? What intentions is behind those compliments?
totally.
Is the intention behind the compliments to get her pussy, to go in bed with her, right? To get in bed? Or am I naturally following my excitement, like saying a compliment, right? And move
so
on.
true, yeah.
Because if you say a compliment and you're like, that's all I wanted to give, that's that energy that comes out. And if that energy comes out, the woman actually can feel it. And she's like, wait a second. He complimented me, but he doesn't want anything. He just complimented me, right? You could feel it earlier when I was saying those things about you, where it was like, yo, you have these things. I didn't want anything. It was like, I love to express that. Same thing if I go to a supermarket, talk to a girl. Am I going up to the girl? Am I like saying these compliments to get in her pants? Or am I saying it because I'm really excited about expressing that, right? And then it's a complete different energy. And girls backwards rationalize that. So if you backwards rationalize, see, I'll show you some. Girls will backwards rationalize because they will not know why they like a person. So let's say a guy comes up, same guy, same height, right? Same good looking, right? But one guy comes up and says, same line. They even say the same line. They say, oh, are you did it hurt when you fell on the ground? Did it hurt when you fell on the ground? Because you're an angel, right? Let's say that line, right? Okay. So the first one says it in a way where it's like, the energy is like the thoughts in your mind. The thoughts in your mind, before you go up, you see that girl, you think she's hot, right? And you're like, she could be my girlfriend, she could be my wife, I could do, if I get her, I'll be happy. If I get her, I'll be happy. See how much pressure that comes up? So they come up, they walk up to her, and they say that line, but the energy behind it is neediness. It's coming out of scarcity, all right? So she's like, ugh, and he's good looking, but he's like, ugh, leave me, right? Because she feels something. It's how you make a person feel. In life, it's about how you make a person feel. But don't try to make a person feel something, because then it's needy. So the next person, I come up, I'm like, yo, I had this exciting line that I heard in this thing. I just want to try it out, right, for fun. See what a different energy is. Like, hey, you, energy, blue, angel, da-da-da. Yeah, bye. And she's like, and I didn't even stop, or I stopped for a second, or I just stopped looking at her having fun. But there was nothing behind. I wasn't looking at my worthiness in that person. And even if I think she was hot, I wasn't like, yo, she's going to be the end all. She's going to be the one of my life. She's going to be whatever. I was just like, oh, my excitement is to express that. That's why I always tell people to follow their excitement. And she's like, wait, this guy is amazing. Same line, but it was a complete different energy. Do you see? One came from excitement and the other one came from from
Needing
all
just,
these
yes.
mind-made thoughts.
Mm.
Guys ask me this a lot. I get this so much on how do you approach a girl? How do you do this? How do you do that? And most guys freak themselves with the story in their mind way before they even approach a girl.
Mm.
They freak themselves out, where it's like, she could be my girlfriend. If I be with her, I'll be happy. This and that. And even girls, this is what's happening to girls. Like, let's say a girl in her 30s, she needs kids, right?
Mm.
How much are you still in abundance, or you're in scarcity? How much are you like needy with a guy and like are at the bar and you like almost like coming from that desperate energy?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just a different story in their mind. It's just stories in their mind. And once you step back, like what I did with you in the meditation, once you step back and you watch it, you become the power.
Yeah.
And then it's game changing where, and that's why I teach. See, here's the difference what I teach and other dating coaches. Other dating coaches teach play hot and cold with her,
Yeah.
right? Or they even
It's
say
so
go up
true.
to her and then leave, which is another. And then, but it never works in the end, because in the end you go on the date with her, right? And if she's confident and she sees you just ordering a pizza or doing anything, we see the mimics, we see the energy, we can feel anything of a person, and they're like, he's not real, bye. So that's why I tell people, teach people how to be confident, and I tell them about the voice in their head, and I tell them how to get the layers off like an onion, and I try to connect them to their meditation and their being. And some are listening, and some want the fast tricks, but the fast tricks never work. But if the people are listening, they have results. If they meditate, if they come from their power, they have results. I had a guy, just Caesar, just in the beginning, he like chased like this ex-girlfriend, and then like maybe 2 weeks later, applying what I said, he had like 7 girls asking him on a date or something like that. I don't know what it was, but that's one example. But even my teaching is not only giving relationships, it's giving health, it's giving abundance, it's giving all of things. But I also think we need to, as a society, stop doing we as a society, but this manipulative stuff, it's just craziness.
It's so
just
true.
Literally stupid.
And you know, this brings me to something of like how we quantify love. Like, to me, that also boggles my mind, how we say, you know, I loved her so much more than she loved me, or like giving your love is some form of like vulnerability. But it's so interesting how that's gotten so twisted. You know, do you know what I mean? And it's like we're chasing you. You said it so beautifully. It's like how we want this person to be somebody even before we've approached them, but it's like so empty. It's like empty value. There's nothing there. It's like we're counting things that can't be counted. Like, you can't count love. Like, and you can't add quantity to it. Yeah, I feel like we really quantify these emotions, like instead of just giving them and walking away when it's not. It's so beautiful what you're saying. It's so true. It's powerful.
You know, the first time I came to the US, I did stand-up comedy, and I did it actually about the dating habits difference of where I'm from, Europe, and to the US. And a lot of people in the US is like, they have these categories. They have categories of like talking about talking, dating, exclusive dating, non-exclusive dating, all kinds of things, and they have to agree on it. And it's all this fear of of the unknown, right? So it's they have these categories, and then I see so many people just like, God, if I can tell you, so many people how just judge the ex-boyfriends, be like, yeah, he was such an asshole, he was such this, yeah, you've been together with him, and now you just, and what do you think happens with the next person? What you resist persists. You're going to take that with you. So it's all those mind-based, and it's true what you said with like it's like, I give so much love, but I get so much love back. Like, you don't love to get love.
Yes.
You love to love. Mm-hmm. Because the feeling of love feels good. Yes. You don't need to love and get love back. I know it's a new practice, but this is the living of the future. This is what in 200 years, people look back at us. And people look back at us too, and some other people, and they be like, these were the people who actually like brought us
I
forward,
love that.
and
That's
like
funny.
who made sense. And they're gonna look at everyone else. 90% is gonna be like, what the fuck did you guys like? Who raised you?
I
There's
love
this
you
funny,
smoking. Yeah.
yeah. There's this funny comedian named TK Kirkland, I think TJ Kirk, and he always says, "Who raised you? Who raised you?" And it's like, yeah, who raised society, trained you, and in some form, I have compassion but in some form, a lot of people, you literally just have to meditate,
Mm-hmm.
and things will fall apart, and new things will come out, emerge, and people just until their pain is too big, they stay in their old habits a lot of times. Like it's like and watch this. TikTok is delivering. Do you know those videos? The 10 tricks, psychology tricks to make her want you. The 10 best words to say that make you seem more eloquent. All those, and these are the things that people are like, yes, I need that, and it's their mind. So it's the difference of you, because they identify with their mind, and then they see something, and their mind catches onto it, and they want it. And that's how people get manipulated, because of the voice in their mind.
Mm-hmm.
But once you watch your mind and you see how your mind reacts, that's when you have the power and you can get out of this game.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to come to the point, and I feel like I come to the point where I get so big that I show people that they are manipulated by the voice in their mind, and then they can't be manipulated anymore. Then they're free, and they're free of all kinds of manipulation coming from the media, from anywhere that's coming down, you know?
So
and they ask questions, and they free, and they have real love, which is like, because even like, I want people to be free, because if I go to a store or if I go on the street, I don't want someone like come up to me and try to manipulate me. So I'd rather like give everyone this knowledge and be like, yo, hey, meditate and be free, and you don't need to be manipulated by mind, because I want to live in a community where like there's enough girls, because right now, there's because they know, but because I put myself out, but I still want to have a good amount of people where you can connect with more people, you know?
Totally. Oh my goodness, yeah. It's and I'm so glad that you bring light to this, because I feel like it's so, it's like that saying, like, you know, anger, or no, what's the emotion, is the only poison. Oh, resentment is the only poison that you drink, no, that you want to give to somebody else, but that you drink and you end up poisoning yourself. And it happens to me, it's the same thing with the expression of love. Like, holding that expression of love is essentially like your gift. It's a gift. It's like giving away generously, and it's so it's beautiful that that we're talking about this, because I feel like you're like you said, so much fear. There's a lot of fear to be hurt.
But you give love with no insistence on the outcome. Give love with it's like excitement with no insistence on the outcome. Give love with no insistence on the outcome.
It's beautiful.
So even our relationship right now, and we can like, I can give this as a perfect example. Like, I'm here because of my excitement with no insistence on the outcome. I don't get paid for this. I mean, it's going to come out, and it in my heart is going to do great things, because it's such a beautiful conversation, and you're such a beautiful person, so it's going to be amazing. It's my excitement, because I wanted to be with a vibration like you on it. It's your excitement. So, but I don't try to get something from you, and you don't try to get something from me. Yeah, it's a win-win where we both win. At the same time, it's not like, oh, I don't have to be a certain way, you don't have to. And that's why it's so beautiful. And that's where the energy can, like, see how the energy is not stopped, because it's like flowing and it's together, and it's like moving in the way, like, be excited about it to move, you know?
Okay, yes, I want to touch one of the things that I have to like really breathe on and meditate on and like send love to is this feminist movement that is just taking over.
Yeah, because it's the thing, it's the out of the scale, right?
Yes.
So they get a toxic sense of power. That's not a sense of, it's not real power.
Exactly.
So, but they pretend it's not, but they say it's us being independent, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
So they're saying it's us independent.
Like,
and
we don't need men.
anyone
Like,
who
we
said,
don't like.
yeah, we don't need men. And anyone who says, and on the other side, it's a lot of, well, that came out of that.
Hmm.
So, okay, I'm gonna explain this. So it's that. So if someone says, "Oh, you guys are too mean to men," it's like, no, they the oppressors all the time. And I think, and I watch him sometimes, and I feel it's so stupid when people really, even Democrats and Republicans, like all this against each other. But I don't know if you heard of Steven Crowder.
Oh, he sounds familiar.
He's I think he's more Republican, but he says some straightforward stuff sometimes, and I watch him sometimes on YouTube. And it's like he debunked somehow that like this society was more made that men get paid more, some of that, and like it seemed like it's somewhat equaled out or whatever. But there's a lot of feminists who don't want to believe it, and they're gonna go on remember the feminist march, and they putting their arm in the air, and they're like, these men, and what do you happens, Yvonne? What do you think happens? I mean, just from an objective standpoint, what do you think happens if you fight against something? Gandhi, I think it was Gandhi. No, I think it was Gandhi or Nelson Mandela. Yeah, he said, Gandhi too.
Oh, maybe. I just know, I just recently watched and I read his book, and it was, wow, like, this man.
Nelson Mandela, I think said, I would never go to an anti-war campaign. I would only go to a pro-peace campaign.
When he said that, it changed my life. I was like, oh my God, I will not be against anything. I will always be for, be pulled.
It will get bigger. And these people, the problem is, again, identification with something. So they built an identity with being a feminist because they put themselves on a pedestal and gave themselves this fake thing of power, made themselves identified, and their mind is identified. So they're slaves to their mind. This attachment, this identity is slavery. It's like they think that's what they are. If you ask someone, they're going to be like, I'm a vegan, I'm a feminist, I'm this, I'm that. And if you eat meat, or if you do this, or if you are for men, or if you're a Republican, or if you're a Democrat, or if you're a Christian, or if you're with Islam, or with you that,
oh my God,
you're identified with that, and you fight against everything else. And that's why the world is this way. That's why people fight. That's the only reason, and Michael Singer said that, the only reason people fight is because the identification with their mind, and the identification with, oh, I'm a feminist. And it's not like, and it's like, you are not helping society. You are not helping consciousness. You're not helping helping women at all. You're not, you call yourself a feminist. You definitely are not helping women, because you are fighting against something, and what you resist persists. And if we can see the point where we can, the last thing, maybe judge people as their characters, and not by their religions, not by their skin colors, not by their gender. But if there's a man that is, so to say, doing a fair thing, and if there's two women and you're a woman, don't take the side of the woman because she's a woman. Take the side of the man because he stands for consciousness. Take the side of the man because he stands for meditation. Take the side of the man because he stands for courage. Don't take the side of the woman because she's a woman. Take the side of the human right here who is for consciousness. And then, and on the other side, what was built, actually, here's a funny thing. What was built through a lot of women, because this is what actually happened. Here's an example. Women in clubs. A lot of women go to clubs, and this is known. to turn down guys to lift their false sense of ego, right?
Wow. Okay. Wow, I did not
So,
know that. Wow.
well, it's not all.
No.
And
Of
so,
course not.
but
It's not a rule. Yeah.
it's a good amount. And turning down guys, turning down people, and a thing that also happens in recent years. I don't know if you know about MGTOW, men go their own way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that movement came out. And the red pill movement, have you heard about the red pill movement?
Mm-mm.
So the red pill movement is a movement that says they sort of say figured out female nature with
Okay.
the hypergamy, which is, God, which is female nature, but not the real female nature. It's only female nature manipulated by ego.
Yeah,
So it's not the real. So, and then and then on the other side came MGTOW, who's now getting way bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, who say, we don't let you women attack us anymore.
Yes.
We are starting to go our own way, and we're starting not to deal with you guys anymore unless you're treating us right? So it's actually, I don't know, well, there's probably some, and there's definitely some in the red pill, and I see those in some comments where it's like, oh, women are like this and that, and most, like, if they're like, I'll delete them. And I'll delete the other one. Like, I delete comments when they are not nice, and they are not the vibration I want, because other people are reading the comments, and I want them to be in a high vibration. So they attack, but a lot of the men go their own way. I actually came out of that feminine movement where it's like, we just don't deal, we leave it, which is actually more peaceful than attacking.
Yeah.
But there's still some people in that movement and the red pill movement, where it's like, they try to take a revenge now. Like, guys, listen, everybody, we shouldn't even make sides. Listen, it doesn't even make sense. Don't treat a person their gender, treat them their character.
Yeah, and inclusive, like you were saying, like by any label, because it's just identification. Like, it goes back to exactly what you were saying about creating identities with it and labels and things that just like spiral out of control because we give it value and worth. So it's so true what you're saying. I really want to address that toxic femininity because it's such a part of I know a lot of men are feeling that, and the whole simp stuff came up, and it's such a big part of our reality today.
And there's toxic masculinity on the other side,
Yeah.
You know, if you call it, like, it's the people who like say, I mean, yeah, a big part of that actually comes out of revenge now, because the girls were like, bad man, and this, so a lot of that comes out of that. But at the same time, both sides, it's like, no, it doesn't make sense. You guys just do something to make society conscious, do something to make, and this is not the way, but they are so identified with it, that's, if you take that away from them, you almost kill them, because now they identify with it. That's people are closed up. They identify with belief systems, and that's why I always say, meditate, let those belief systems go moment to moment. Then now we'll tell you what to do. Then now we'll tell you what's right, and then do that. But the moment you go against something, same thing with Republicans and Democrats. Like, do we all want to make the country more consciousness, or do you guys just want to fight against each other like little kids? And not even normal kids, but kids who have been already trained by society. But if I can tell you something from my work with children, what I realized is that girls are actually more free, grow up more free than boys, because boys get taught from a young age competitiveness, which is a mindful things, where they compete, they get into like the weapons, the games, this and that. And I had a lot of experience with girls, beautiful freedom, where they come up to me, they're like, yeah, I just want to do what's fun. And a lot of guys are like, I want to be better than that guy. I want to be better than that person. And this is why I'm better than that person. Do you see separation thinking again? And then girls were like, no, we are a community, we want to have fun together. Now, I know that's generalized, but I'm talking now about patterns that I see. Every individual is different. I always want people to remember that when I talk, I know that every individual is different. But what I see in society, what kids get taught, what males get taught through society is a lot of competitiveness, which brings you into comparison. And that's why I deal with a lot of guys who are in overthinking too. Girls in overthinking too, but guys especially, where they're like, try to strategize, try everything. And that's why girls are more connected to their emotions, because we give them more freedom. Yeah. But girls still have at the same time their own pressures that they get from society, right? All their own pressures. And I know that. I'm just saying, from the kids that I've seen, in general, what I see is girls are more free, which is amazing. Yeah. And yeah. So
it's interesting, because I remember reading a book about like how when parents know when they have young children, like they treat the little baby boys different to the baby girls, like just instinctively out of our programming. And I think like it's true. Like I remember in high school, like growing up, like, you know, it was still the same, like women hating on men. And that, I mean, there's also that puberty age, right, where you also feel kind of like, oh, like icky around each other. But
but why do you feel icky? Do you really feel icky because there's a person who has a different body next to you, or is it because the story that was brought into you? And I know it was the story. It was the story. It was the story. Because when I grew up, I had a girl who was actually my best friend for a long time, until I was told that that's not okay. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's sad. I had a lot of girlfriends in my neighborhood. I had girlfriends in my neighborhood, and it was like normal to me. And I wasn't even thinking about, oh, she has a vagina and this and that. But in school, these groups, and then over time, this culture gets like formed, and then it gets more and more. But we need to break this culture on some point. If not, what's going on? Like, it doesn't make sense. And that's why people have problems in relationships. And they ask themselves, why do we have problems in relationships? Because your whole pattern about a male is saying that they're a different group. And your whole pattern about a female is that is a different group. Literally, like, I think girls sometimes, when I talk to them, they're like, why is he treating me like normal? He's not nervous around me. He's like, and like, it happens with really attractive girls too. Or like, I had contact to also like, even famous actresses, like, they like, and you can literally see in their face, like, why is he not treating me different like everyone else? And it's like, because I know, I internalized this knowing that you are consciousness, I have a consciousness, we all are light, and we all just express itself. And guess what? If we connect, if we end up coming together, if we sexually attract, which is an energy too. Sexual attraction is an energy. It's an energy that forms, then that happens. And that's great. At the same time, like, I'm not treating you different. I don't put you on a pedestal. And that's what I taught guys in the beginning. Like, don't put girls on a pedestal, which simping. We talked about simping, right? This is such a big theme on TikTok right now. Exactly. And it just becomes this thing where, like, don't you guys understand that you are putting a woman on a pedestal based on her physical beauty, and you're treating her different. Now, that's not to say to not appreciate physical beauty. Appreciate a beautiful woman. I appreciate beautiful women on TikTok. I appreciate their dancing. I appreciate their bodies. I think they're sexy. I feel they're sexy. Appreciation is something completely different than simping and putting a person on a pedestal based on their looks.
Totally.
You can appreciate a sunset, and it's easier sometimes for people to understand that. I know a sunset is not a woman, but in a sense, it's a piece, it's an art, it's a beautiful art, right? It's an expression of life. So can you appreciate this expression of life? Can you be attracted? I'm attracted to a sunset. I'm attracted to a woman. Maybe that attraction to a woman is slightly different just because of that energy, that sexual energy. At the same time, I'll appreciate, but I don't put her on a pedestal. Like, when I talk to her in real life, she's in front of me, I'm not like, wow, this is Addison Rae who is so amazing. No, I'm like, yo, are we connecting? Do we have a cool connection? And then they're like, wow, he's actually not putting me on a pedestal. And that's what girls like more too. You treat me like like a real person, and you don't try to manipulate me because I'm hot. Now, given there's girls who are identified, again, a lot of girls identified with their body, and if that game is not played, they feel insecure, right? If that game is not played, if
they
that is
wonder
not
why.
And it's almost like they wonder what it's their mind that's like, no, what's happening? And that's where manipulation can start with women. So if this woman, this is a great way to start, because it's like, that's how men start to manipulate you, because they just pretend like they're not interested in your physical beauty, and they say something else. And then you get lured in, and you get into this relationship that you got really into because of your own energy blockages, of your own empty, like your voids that you need to fill, instead of real connection. So, and that will always end up in unhappiness, because most people go in a relationship because of a void they have in them. Most people go in a relationship because they feel lonely, and then they want to fill that void. Or people go in a relationship because they want to feel attractive. But you can't let another person fill that void. You have to fill that void. And that void is, in reality, that void is already filled. It's just the layers of society, the mind. You need to get them off. And you are in the middle. You are already, it's so funny. People are like, how can I be confident? How can I love myself? How can I do this? You already love yourself. Inside, you already love yourself. Inside, you're already confident. It's just, you need to get rid of those layers. So you need to get rid of those thoughts. So you need to meditate, and you need to be aware of those things, you know?
I totally know. And I know meditation has changed my life. It was one of the things that really put me on a path that changed my life. And one of the other things that I've actually really discovered that's really, really useful for me is dancing and like my sexuality. Like my sexual energy is one of those things that when I connect to it, it just makes me feel not only alive, but so in tune with myself and my body.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I like really encourage on TikTok is that coming back of the body, is like that coming back, that knowing, because a lot of people think like, you fix your problems in your mind, but like the truth is you do, but it stays in your body as well. The other one is like through sexual energy. For me, the sexual life force energy it's really changed my life.
Yeah. So sexual energy is actually energy in the vortex. So when Abraham talks about the vortex?
Yes.
It's a connected energy. So it's an energy actually that is connected to God.
Yeah. It just feels so raw.
It's a confident. It's a you feel yourself. You feel, and that's the connection, and it's a wonderful feeling, right? And you have this confidence, assuredness. It's almost like you can't explain that energy, but we both know what we're talking about. So that is wonderful. And if you teach that woman, that is wonderful. It's just, here's the difference. Is the woman doing that dance to get the validation from the other people on TikTok, from the guys, which, believe me, a lot of them do, okay? That's like what gives them what they think is the love that they get. Or are they following their excitement with no insistence on the outcome? Do you see that? Can you see that? How beautiful that is? You do it for the energy. I was almost about to say you do it for yourself, but what is really yourself? But if people understand it better that way, you can use, language is there to explain things, but it's not really, it's a signpost.
Sometimes,
yeah, it's a signpost to that energy of consciousness. Yeah. And that sexual energy is important. And it's also important that our society, and that's why I sometimes here's a comment that if it's put that way, I don't like, okay? Do you know the one she belongs to the streets?
seen it come up.
She
But
belongs to the streets means the girl is showing too much ass or showing too much titties or showing too much things, and she basically she's belonging to the street. She's a prostitute or whatever, right? So it's not always a mean thing to say. It's sometimes, in a way, it's sometimes funny, but it's not. It can be not funny if people get trained that way. So what I mean with that, women shouldn't fear to show their sexuality, to express their sexuality, even openly, if they want to, if that's the excitement, right? At the same time, men too, by the way. We want to see a lot more men to express their sexuality. But we're talking about women right now. And I mean, we can talk about both. You can, if whoever watches this, you can insert wherever you are. Women need to make that difference, need to have that awareness of, am I doing this to fill my void, to get attention? Because that energy will not give you that fulfillment of life. I mean, if you can't do nothing else, if you need that, but it's not literally, if you want to have a wonderful life, do it. You can even do it for both. Hey, do it for both. I don't care. If you are excited that other people adore you, but that's not how it works. That's actually not how it works. I made this video where it says, beautiful things don't ask for attention. Beautiful things don't ask for attention is from the movie Walter Mitty, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. A famous photographer took this picture of the snow leopard, and that's actually why part of it. Actually, I love the snow leopard, but I love connecting it to their story. I took the snow leopard because it's a wonderful animal as my sign. But beautiful things don't ask. That I made that video. Beautiful things don't ask for attention. Because once you follow your excitement without insistence on the outcome, without asking for attention, the funny thing is you will get so much attention.
It's like people can smell it, eh? It's like,
yes. And
crazy.
want me to tell a secret about Charlie D'Amelio? That's a big reason why she became successful and why she's so big. Her energy, and you can tell it, she's so passionate about dancing. She just loved dancing, and there wasn't this thirsty. At that time, there was a lot of other girls like this. I just want to show my body. I want to get the likes. I want this. And she was literally such a down to earth, and she got all the attention. Like, guys loved her. Guys loved her because it was this new thing of, damn, she's just this down to, and she's just following her excitement with no insistence on outcome. So girls, if you really want, this is how to do it. You follow your own excitement, but you can't fake it. You can't just, here's the thing. Girls could hear this now. They could be like, yeah, so I'm gonna follow my excitement now. No insistence on the outcome. So all these guys say I'm sexy. It's not working like that. It's literally not working like that. You have to be real. And that's what I do. I literally just follow my excitement with no uncertain outcome. I get so much love, but I don't ask for it.
It's true. And it's interesting how we feel like we can fool everyone, but the only person we fool is ourselves, right?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people fool themselves. So, yeah, woman, express your sexuality, but don't use it as I mean, you can do whatever I say, whatever I say, you can do whatever you want, but don't express it, don't use it to fill your void. Because it's not going to make you happy. Because in the end, you're just going to compare yourself to everyone else on TikTok. And there's always going to be someone, oh no, she's so hot. And it's just going to make you unhappy. At the same time, if you follow your excitement with no insistence on the outcome, and you follow your excitement, that sexual energy is a connection to God. And also, man, if a girl really does it for that excitement, stop. If her excitement is to be half naked and who are you to judge that? Even if she wants to be naked, if that would be allowed, like if she wants to have, and it's beautiful too, if she, and you all watch it, so shut the fuck up. Like all you guys are like you guys watch it and you love it and you still like put it down. And I understand if it's that, because okay, I understand in this way it's manipulative. It is manipulative if it's made this way. If the woman uses that in that way, yes, it's manipulative, and we all know that. At the same time, if she follows her excitement, and her excitement is to have her booty shorts cut in the middle of her ass, if no insistence on the outcome, to me, that's beautiful. She expresses God. She expresses herself God. Some people probably say right now, this guy is crazy, but no, she's expressing an energy. She wants to do it like that. That's her choice. If she's not filling a void right now, if she loves, like I make videos with not my shirt on all the time. People are just already used to it. I drive without a shirt on because I like to be without a shirt.
Yeah.
I just like to be free. I just like to have, it feels freedom to me. I love having the air on my skin, and I don't mind.
Wow.
There's people who make videos who have to be dressed perfectly. I literally wake up, I'll be on a restroom, and I will make a video with my eyes like this, and I had people commenting, "Oh, you're so high right now. You're so high right now." No, motherfucker, I'm just tired. I'm not tired, but I just woke up. I just woke up. I'm not tired, but I woke up. I just woke up. So literally, first off, guys who usually do that, who judge girls like that, usually that's a form of jealousy because they think they're not good enough to get these girls a lot of times, you know? So girls, follow your excitement with no insistence on the outcome. If you want to be sexy, embrace your sexuality, that's why it's here for. Embrace that energy, love it, because it's going to give you gifts. Even that sexuality, that expressing that and following the excitement can give you gifts like abundance, a relationship. And I don't mean that you will attract, like a guy will see you. No, it's an energy that goes out, and in whatever form it will come back, and it's beautiful. So I'm all with you, and I think it's beautiful what you do. Just remember, and I know your awareness, just remember these two things. Teach them, are they going to do this for their void, or are they going to do this for their true excitement?
It's so true. And it's really interesting what you said there, because you mentioned something about like freedom. Like that's real freedom. You know, like that is real freedom, is like when you can let go of the rules of what's right and wrong, how to express, how not to express, how this is, and it's so powerful that that distinction of like really feeling able to express how you just feel, like what you just naturally want. And you know, and I think like the last, actually, because I also want to just mention one thing. A lot of people go on this journey, even if they say they're not expecting something, with the expectation. Mm-hmm. It's like they know they want to be where you're at, for instance.
I used to do that too, yeah.
They see somebody and they're like, I know he's not trying to do this, and I know he's not trying to like, but that's exactly where I want to be in life. And it's like they live in this vortex of I don't admire you, but I'm pushing myself to get somewhere. What do you give as advice for people who are like on this, not on the spiritual journey, because I don't want to put it as a journey, as like a spiritual journey, but like on the journey of consciousness? Yeah, what do you say? If there's no
your question is, what's your question?
Because, for example, we always give an objective to something. So when we say something like, you know, follow your
excitement, with no insistence on the outcome.
Exactly. And so when I see you, your level of happiness, your level of joy, your level of enthusiasm, it becomes something that I desire, right? And so it becomes a conscious objective without, but yet I'm supposed to do it without essentially a conscious, without an expected outcome. So what I'm saying is like, how do you surrender? How do you truly surrender and create consciousness in that space?
How do you not expect something, you mean, too?
Yeah, how do you not say yourself, why am I not there yet? Or how can I accelerate this path? Or how can I get there faster? Like,
okay, yeah. So
how
that's
can I reach
two
that
different
level of joy, you know?
So that's two different questions, but two different that I can explain. So imagine because what you just said is a thought.
Yeah.
It's a thought that said, why I'm not there yet, right? So you're checking the scoreboard. So imagine your life as a train, and imagine your train wants to go in one direction. To get to the energy, so to say, you can have desires. I'm not saying you can't have desires. You can have desires. And your thoughts saying, oh, wow, I love the law of attraction. I can attract with the law of attraction. I can create. I really believe that. I saw it in my life. The train with all these thoughts, that excitement is going in one direction, right? Mm-hmm. Once you say, what was it that you said? You said, how can it be faster?
Yeah, how can it, yeah.
The train stops once you have that thought, right? Mm-hmm. And that's connected to your feelings. So you always know where you are on your path when you sense your feelings. So how does it feel to ask yourself, why am I not there yet? Does it feel good? Mm-hmm. Doesn't feel good. No. So you know that your inner being, this is teaching of Abraham Hicks, you know that your inner being is not agreeing with that thought. And you, in that moment, you're not all the way aligned with where you want to be, because you already put where you want to, through the living of life, you already put your desires in that realm. Now it's already created. You just need to, and that's like, I just surprised myself because I think I just realized it even more by even saying that. It's already created. You just need to match the vibration. You just need to get on that radio station. But if you keep checking the scoreboard, and that's what I had to practice too. And that's what I'm still practicing sometimes, because that's what we all do. Like, we look at physical reality and we like, oh, am I there yet? It's like this analogy Abraham Hicks gives when I drive from San Diego to Phoenix and I say, oh, no, I'm not in Phoenix yet. Like, in the middle of the way, I'm not in Phoenix yet. I'm not in Phoenix yet. I'm not in Phoenix yet. Then you like, oh, I need to turn around. I'm not in Phoenix. And you turn around because you're not in Phoenix yet, because you think you can't get. You have to literally, it's almost like think your thoughts based on your feelings instead of thinking your thoughts based on you think what reality is. So that thought, as much of you want to find a solution for it, you can only find a solution in the vortex. So that thought is hitting the brakes. And you, and that was a great question when you were like, how, maybe the next question will be like, oh, okay, so how do I check less of the scoreboard, right? That could be a next question. That would be like, interesting.
How do I surrender to like what is?
So it's a practice, and you can't expect yourself to be perfect. Like, you can't be just all day. I mean, you can't expect yourself to be perfect all day. Just, I'm all the way in the vortex. Sometimes you will have that scoreboard, right? But then don't linger there, right? Mm-hmm. Go back to the thought that feels a little bit better than that. Oh, I'm already on the right path. It's okay. Like, soothe yourself. Maybe it sounds to people, it sounds like this is the most important work. People have their priorities completely. They think, I need to hustle. I need to this. I can speak from experience. And Abraham Hicks said, this is the truth. 68 seconds of pure thought is more powerful than 10,000 action hours. So your hustle don't mean nothing. Your hustle don't mean nothing. 68 seconds of pure thought is more powerful than 10,000 action hours. The 10,000 action, that's amazing. So people think like, oh yeah, I have to do my thoughts. You have so many thoughts. Of course, you cannot think of all the thoughts, but you always can feel your emotions. So you go during the day, you wake up, and this is what I always teach guys. First thing in the day, do something that feels good to you, because you pre-pave your day. You have two trains. Left train is like, oh, I check my phone. I'm going to check my messages. I check my emails. What do I have to do today? If you go on that train, it might be anxiety and worries. And you drive off in that train. And you do actions of that train. You do actions on the side. if you go on the other train and first thing you do, you use the restroom and then you meditate and then you write lists of positive aspects about your life, what you're thankful for, maybe even what I did with you when you were like, are you thankful for your heart, the sun, whatever feels good to you. The only requirement is that it feels good to you because that's the sign of your guidance system that you raised your vibration. I can only tell people like Abraham Hicks, I practiced it. It's true. It's the most amazing teaching. One of the most amazing teachings. So that train goes from here and it will drive right in the direction of like excitement. You relax in the beginning of the day. And in the beginning, those trains aren't that far apart. They aren't. But at the end of the day, at the end of the month, they're going to be in different cities. They're going to end up in different countries. They're going to end up in different continents. They're going to end up on fucking different planets. So
that's a powerful analogy.
Yeah. Is so powerful. And people are more worried about, and because they're mind-based and they don't see how powerful their emotions are. Like your emotions are so powerful if you can guide your emotions. But they want the tricks. They want the hustles. They want the 21 processes to get there and there. And then they buy in that and then they get frustrated because it doesn't work out. Because you're putting your power, you're giving your power away. Your power is in you. And that's why people are putting the eggs in the baskets, in the wrong baskets. Yeah. They're putting the eggs in, and they don't want to do these things. And even if I even me giving this answer where I'm like, can you see how this thought is not in the right direction? Literally, most people will not, even they hear me talking now and they see how passionate I am, they're like, they can grasp it. They're like, no, there has to be something. And this is their mind talk, right? No, there has to be something. There has to be something. And then what is that thought? What vibration has that thought? You know, it's such an art. But if you grasp it, if you really can grasp it, it's all about focus. It's all about where your attention goes. And yeah, of course, we're all going to check our scoreboard. We're all going to see, okay, I'm here. This is where I want to be. But really, this is where your logical mind wants to be. And if you listen to your higher mind and you follow your excitement, your higher mind is going to take you in all kinds of circles. So there's this beautiful analogy from Bashar. The higher mind is on the mountaintop. You want to go on the mountaintop. Your logical mind's down here. And your logical mind is, okay, the fastest way, take that bridge, go right up the ladder to the mountain. And this is the fastest way, right? But what your logical mind don't know, right behind the bridge is a cheetah. And if you go that way, the cheetah will bite your neck, break your neck. You'll be on the ground and he will eat you. That's it. But the higher mind is like, the higher mind in form of your excitement, gives you a signal that says, no, go around the river. There's going to be a second bridge. Actually, don't take the second bridge, take the third bridge. If you go on the third bridge, there will be a ladder that goes faster up. And because you follow your excitement, there might be a hawk that takes you all the way up. I made a funny analogy. But you get it. Yeah, whatever an alien gets you, whatever gets you up, the path of excitement gets you up faster. Actually, it might take curves. That's what Bashar says. It might take curves, but it gets you up faster. So follow your excitement. The higher mind sees from the mountaintop, but like the logical mind only knows what it can lose. It doesn't know what it can win. So you prepare, you want this answer, and you know what? You get the answer. You get the answer from all the manipulators on the internet. Your logical mind will get the answer that it wants, but it's not really the answer that your soul wants. Your soul wants the answer that I just gave, which is you have the power, you have the guidance system, you need to give yourself the permission for that and follow that path. And then you will have the most surprising, and you will be there like, I could have never imagined this is, you did bring it all together. You put the desire there, but you don't even know how much amazing things you put there. And when you align with it, it will come there. So the answer is basically focus, where it's like, yes, I check my score real quick, but can I go back then to my excitement, or can I go back to a thought that's like, okay, I'm doing pretty good, I'm doing okay, I can't be so hard on myself. Like, this is actually a self-talk that's like raising your vibration, like this kind of being like, and I practice that because I'm ambitious too, in a way, and sometimes I have to be like, you're doing good, you do, and I practice that. I practice all of this what I teach. I'm like, okay, that's okay. And sometimes the people who are depressed, the next level up is anger. And a lot of people in our society don't want people to become angry. Mm-hmm. And anger is actually a raising of vibration. That's not to say to act on your anger. I'm not saying to punch someone in the face. I'm not saying to do that. Just go to your anger, become angry. And then the next up is frustration. And the next up is hope. But you can't go all the way from all the way down to all the way up. Sometimes you need to go in steps. So be kind to yourself. Maybe you have to get angry first. Maybe you have to do that first. That means don't act on your revenge. Don't cut your ex-girlfriend's tires or something like that. But go step by step and be kind to yourself and raise your vibration. People always like, no, I'm going to get this 21 step and then I'm going to be famous in this way. It's a process and you got to be kind to yourself. You know?
Wow, it's so beautiful. So true.
Was that helpful? I know people check the scoreboard a lot.
And that's why I bring it up, because in a society that has how-tos everywhere,
exactly,
that has like, this is how you're gonna get there. This is the easy way to get there. This is the only way to get there. This is like, you know, if you don't listen to this, you'll never make it. So there's a self-society infused pressure, and then there's the part of you that comes in that says, why am I not there? Am I ever going to get there? And this like, this just, it's just a lot. And so I felt that, and I know that of course a lot of us do. And so you're so right, that self-talk. And you know what is honestly what changed my life is like allowing myself to feel like anger, to feel, if I felt disappointment, or if I felt frustration, like feel it fully. And because I think I spent so much of my time feeling the emotion but rejecting it because I'm not supposed to feel this way, and like that I was just, it kept coming back. And that for me, when I started doing that, it was a huge breakthrough. So I think what you're saying is really, really useful and really enlightening, because it's that self-love, it's that checking and realizing that surrendering and that letting go of, and like knowing that your higher mind is like, has the best intention for you, like trust it, like and follow your highest excitement. It's it's a different way to think than we are trained to think in society. It's
and the how-tos that you talked about is all capturing the mind, right? It's literally people identify with their minds, and then someone presents them who seems legit a solution, and they jump on it. And then that didn't work, and then someone else presents the solution, and then that. It's like all the diets, right?
Exactly.
That's why I talk about intuitive eating in my videos. I talk about trust yourself, and then align with yourself, meditate, raise your vibration, and you will intuitively choose the perfect foods at the perfect time. People give you ketogenic diet, carnivore diet, vegan diet, this diet, that diet, and they get identified with the diets. There's people being so identified with the diets, they will fight for their diets. And they will scream at you for their diets. And this is where people need to wake up to. It's almost like robots. They're being manipulated because they identified with their mind. So if they identify with their mind and they think they're the thoughts in their mind, if someone gives them a how-to, the mind, instead of stepping back and looking at it and saying, oh, my mind wants to watch this how-to video. Why does my mind wants to watch? Oh, my mind thinks that's the solution for, oh, it's alluring in. Oh, see how I step back, watched my mind, like almost like I watched everything. I watched my mind, and I watched what that person wanted to deal to me. And then you're not manipulated anymore, and you can act from your power, and you will not get pulled in, because people get pulled in that their whole life. They're like, people always try to find for the right way to live. What's the right way to live? Is this the right way to live? Is this? And then they identify with something, and then they live with it for a long time, and they don't even want to leave it anymore, because they're so identified now. If they feel like if they're wrong, they leave everything behind. Yeah. And it's like, I think one of my big things, what I'm really thankful for, is I was always open to give everything up. Mm. Like I was always open to, and I'm still like that. I'm literally still like that. If I find something I will literally like, all right, I'm gonna try that out. And I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
But because I'm not identified with anything, like I'm not identified with my body. I'm thankful for my body. I'm thankful. I feel like I'm beautiful. I'm thankful I'm beautiful. I'm thankful I'm tall. I'm thankful I'm this. I'm thankful. But I'm not identified with it. I'm not identified with, I don't know what. I'm not identified with TikTok. I feel like I'm cool that it's so cool that I have this excitement and it's fun for me and I'm good at expressing it. But I'm not so if I'm not identified with, or I'm not identified with whatever, if I'm not identified, do you see how much power I have? Because you can't manipulate me. Like even like people like with money, or like with a lot of things, like Coca-Cola. If Coca-Cola came to me, oh, I'll give you $2 million, like I'm like, no. Maybe if you give the $2 million to, or if maybe Coca-Cola wasn't the best example, because maybe I would use the $2 million to do something positive. But do you see how, like, no one can really manipulate you if you are not identified with your mind, first off. And I just recently came to this. Please, people, please, because people have been doing this, please don't villainize your mind. Your mind's actually there for you. And you don't separate yourself from your mind in that way. Love your mind. Be thankful for your mind. I want to redo my teachings too. It helped to tell people to not identify with their mind, but your mind is something really, really beautiful. And I just recently came to that, and I understood that by getting more awareness, where it's like, don't separate your mind. Be like, that's something beautiful. Okay, my mind is saying this and that. I can love that too, because that's only coming from that fearful kid or that fearful this and that. Just love that. That's fine. Love that, and be there for it. And that's why I love what you said with the emotions. And you would love so much Kyle C's calls. Actually, I'm on these calls. They're like every Monday and Wednesday, and it's like this whole program. And he literally talks about this, where it's like, be there for your emotions. Like what you said, like feel your emotions and be there, because you suppressed them when you were a kid and you never really seen them. And now it's your time to see them, and they want to be seen. So you kind of see yourself. So by you seeing those emotions, you heal them and they can come through you. But here's something people a lot of times do. They're like, okay, I see them, so they go away. I see them now. Yeah. But they're like, no, just see me. Just stay here with me. Just see me. Mm-hmm. And if you do that, then yeah, they will go. They will transform. And it's this paradox, I know, but that's just how it is. And it's very amazing, because there's no resistance, right? Mm-hmm. If you love your emotions, there's no resistance. And then they transform, they transcend like the alchemist, and then they rise up to the highest point, to your consciousness, and you transform yourself. And this is what Michael Singer says. He says that if you are up all the way high, they will come up and they will transcend. And you are basically an alchemist, and you get free,
So much of it is in that kind of like just letting things be. You know, sometimes I find that
Surrender,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not, because it's so simple,
It
it
is
feels
simple, yeah.
too, it feels like that's not it. So
Yeah, yeah, and
it's
that's
like the
mind.
complex of the difficulty. It needs to be
Yeah,
there for
yeah,
it to be a proper solution. It
yeah.
fascinates me. Yeah.
That's why so many people write me and they're like, so many people text me, they're like, I have this and that, I have this and that, and this and that, and my boyfriend, and this and this and that, and this and that. And I tell them to meditate, right? And yes, some will do it, and they write, and these are the ones who write me then, oh my God, my life changed, this and that. But some are like, that's way too simple. I thought you were gonna give me, I thought you were gonna give me
Like they want the formula, like the number.
yeah, let me just like give you the math formula, like, you know, they want me to tell you, this is how you trick your girlfriend into loving you. That's what they want me to tell them.
Yeah.
This is how you trick your girl. This is how you trick your, people are like, how can I get my ex back? This is how you trick your ex into coming back to you. You know how you get your ex back, or how she might come back? If you follow your excitement with no insistence on the outcome. Either your ex comes back because she's like, damn, he's amazing. Or, you know what's more likely? We will meet a better woman because you raise your vibration to a level where the better woman is.
Oh, thank you so much. You just have so
You're
much
welcome.
to share. I'm so excited to see you grow and just
it's so fun.
Yeah, thank you. So thanks again for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope it put enough nuggets in your head or things to think about over the next couple of weeks and for some messages to really sink in. If you want to follow Star, he can be found on TikTok, and his handle is at King of Kings Energy. He's on Instagram, he's on TikTok, he has his own Patreon, I think he's on YouTube, so he's easy to find, he's out there. And so I highly recommend following him. His advice, again, is really grounded, as you've heard him, and he's just a great human being in general. So I look forward to welcoming you back again. Please comment, share, and subscribe. I would like to know what it is you'd like to hear more of, so please participate, and I look forward to welcoming you back.